Birmingham City Council's recently been declared bankrupt. We're on our way to Birmingham to see if it looks like a bankrupt city in broken Britain, or what Birmingham does have to offer. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I am.
This is Ozzy the Bull, a symbol of the Commonwealth Games. We were lucky enough to be able to go to the dress rehearsal, so he was going to be scrapped, but a big campaign has meant that he's stopping here now.
We're going to look at cathedrals, shopping centres. We're going to take you to Rackham's to see what that's like. Does anybody remember the old Rackham's, now the House of Fraser? We're going to go to Brindley Place. We're going to look at Birmingham Library. We're going to go in an art gallery. We're going to go to the BBC, and we're going to see a TARDIS. And then we're going to go and visit the oldest pub in Birmingham. So we're here at Grand Central, and there's lots of lovely shops in Grand Central, lots of lovely places to eat. And you can walk straight through to the Bullring shopping centre, and that's what we're going to do now. So we're in the Bullring shopping centre, which actually is the biggest shopping centre in a city centre in the UK. So there are only 4 Selfridges in the UK. This is one of them. I think there's one in the Trafford Centre. Drop us a comment to tell us where the other 2 are. So this is the ball of the Bullring.
Another bull. I'm getting a real case of deja vu.
So now we're going to walk down to St Martin's Church. This is probably one of the oldest churches in Birmingham, and down here was where the bull baiting happened in the 16th century, and that's how the Bullring got its name.
This statue was the first public statue to Nelson in the country. So Nelson's column, yeah, up yours London, Birmingham was first. So this is a good place to note the contrast between the new section of Birmingham. We've got the iconic Selfridges building here, and then if you swing round we come to the old part, and what we've got here is St Martin's Church in the Bullring. There's been a church on this site since the 13th century, and this iteration has been here since 1873.
So we've seen St Martin's Church, and it's quite a big church. We're on our way to the cathedral now. You'll notice there's a big difference in size. It's tiny.
So this is St Philip's Cathedral. It was built in the 18th century. It's the 3rd smallest cathedral in the country, and it's in an area locally known as Pigeon Park, which is one of the very few green spaces in the middle of Birmingham.
So we're outside the House of Fraser, and to be honest, it looks a little bit down at heel. This used to be Rackham's, and back in the 70s and 80s it was top notch, it was packed, and it's such a shame that now it's turned into this. Floor 3, and this is where I would come when I was in my late teens and early 20s, you know, to get the dresses to go clubbing and everything, and I just look around now and it's just so sad. We can't go any further than the 4th floor now. You used to be able to go up to, I think it was floor 6, there was a big restaurant at the top, the toy department was at the top, the electronic department was at the top. It's all gone. You know what? I think I was a bit negative about that store. I actually quite liked it, and I may have purchased a few things.
Should we pop into the Ivy for lunch?
Would it be too expensive?
Don't know.
No, I've made sandwiches.
This is the old joint stock, which used to be a Lloyd's. We've come across the Collie Icing Gallery, so we're going to go and take a look in there now.
Let's do a bit of ping pong, see who wins.
Okay, first to one. 1-0.
So we're now going to go and have a walk up to St Tignery Square and have a look at the new library. If you come in here of an evening, you might want to check some of these bars out. Whenever we walk past of an evening, there are queues a mile long. So they must be doing something right.
Oh dear, I don't know if I want that sort of a cabaret.
This is Birmingham's 4th central library, and this version was opened in 2013, and it's fabulous. So we've been in Stratford-upon-Avon recently, and if you want, check our latest video out on that. But we're going to go and have a look now in the Shakespeare Library. Square now, and we're going to walk through Symphony Hall down to Brindley Place. Let's go.
Birmingham is well known for having more canals than Venice, but not as many as Amsterdam.
And now we're off to the Icon Gallery. Oh no, we didn't do our research. It's Monday and it's closed. We have been here before, and it is a great little gallery. It's only small, but it's really quirky inside, so if you're here it's well worth a visit, but only Wednesday to Sunday. If you like aquariums, there's a great National Sea Life Centre in Birmingham. We haven't been for a while, but it's definitely worth a visit.
A lot of towpaths around. You can walk to all the local villages, West Bromwich, Smethwick, Wednesbury, wherever you want. There's the BBC studios.
So we're near the Mailbox now, and we're going to go and see if we can get into the BBC. And there's a sign here to say that there's a very old Dalek and you can't touch it. Let's have a look. Let me in, let me in. David, let me in. And there's a Harvey Nicks in the Mailbox, but it's really expensive. I'm going to go back to charity shops. This is the Bacchus Bar, and it's in the Burlington Arcade, and it's right opposite New Street Station, and it's a really quirky little bar. Let's go and have a look. Reminds me a bit of Harry Potter as well. You could imagine Harry coming and having a drink here, couldn't you?
So this might look like an old pub, but it's not the oldest pub in Birmingham. We're going to take you now to the oldest pub in Birmingham.
So this is Birmingham's oldest pub, 1368.
here, isn't it?
It's lovely here. I would never have thought to come here actually, because this pub, the Old Crown that we're in now, is in Digbus, and whilst it's quite a trendy area, it's not an area that I've ever felt totally comfortable in.
No, there's a lot of building work going on. It looks as if they're investing a lot of money in there. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if any of that comes to a stop with the situation that Birmingham Council's in. I hope it carries on, because I think the area does need redevelopment.
Yeah, and there's lots of evidence of that going on. I mean, outside in the street, there's some lovely planting schemes going on. The metro is expanding down here. The BBC is moving into the custard factory that is just next door to this pub. But this pub is a real gem. It's the oldest building in Birmingham, and it's obviously the oldest pub as well in Birmingham.
Very interesting. And a fascinating fact, it's had a very famous visitor in 1575. Queen Elizabeth I stopped here on her way back from Kenilworth Castle. So we are in esteemed royal company. Ooh. Cheers, Your Majesty.
Cheers. So we're inside the Old Crown pub now, and it is a beautiful, beautiful building. But what's your thoughts been on today?
I've enjoyed Birmingham. We've seen bits, we forced ourselves to go to bits that we've not been to before. You think you know a place, because we've been coming to Birmingham since we were young. We both grew up in West Bromwich, so Birmingham was the biggest city near to us. So you always used to come in on a Saturday, hadn't you, on the bus? And
yeah, to the Dome nightclub, if anybody remembers that. Yeah.
Mr. Eggs.
Yeah, but you know, and I remember coming as a child on a Saturday with my mum and my nan and the old Bullring market, and I think, you know, Birmingham did go through a phase of being, you know, a bit run down and very industrial, but to be honest, you know, I think it's really picking itself up. There are some lovely bits of Birmingham, and I hope you've seen that in our video, especially Bicentenary Square, down by Brindley Place, walking through to the Mailbox. Really nice places to visit down there.
Yeah, I think Birmingham City Council they're in some financial trouble at the moment, but I think generally Birmingham itself at this present time is unaffected. I think the citizens of Birmingham, at some point there is going to be an effect, but I would say don't let it put you off coming to Birmingham. It's well worth the visit. There's lots of things to do here, whether it be nightlife, whether it be places to look at in the day. I just hope that places like the library aren't affected, and that the museum and art gallery can reopen, because at the moment non-essential services are being cut back or stopped. So we'll watch this space and see what comes back to Birmingham in terms of the things that are run by Birmingham Council, but there's plenty to do as well.
Yeah, and don't think of Birmingham as just a place to shop. If I'm totally honest, shopping isn't my number one thing, but there aren't that many independent shops in Birmingham. It's mainly high street chain stores in Birmingham. So if you're after like little independent shops, quirky shops, I haven't really seen that in Birmingham, and there may be better places to go
there's
to.
a real balance between the old and the new. I mean, Birmingham when we grew up in the 1970s, early 1980s, was a real concrete jungle. But now there's a lovely mix of new buildings and old buildings alongside each other. There are some places, you know, that aren't particularly pleasant. Birmingham was sort of debated as one of the drabbest cities in the United Kingdom, but that's a bit of a grey area.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. You know, I think Birmingham is a nice place to visit, and yeah, even if you live, you know, a distance away, it's well worth coming to see. There's plenty to do. We've only scratched the surface. There's the back-to-backs to do, there's the canal boat tours you can do, you know, there's tons of stuff. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching our adventures in Birmingham. And if you've enjoyed this one, check out our Stratford-upon-Avon video here. Thank you.